use the unstoppable force and why use the unmovable object? Like
the defense.
But Kirby has to win because we've had a debate for 2 hours. Kirby has to win because he has to win in every argument. He's going to bring in a bunch of big words. He's going to be like, actually, this is the meaning. But we're talking about video games, which you can't really apply that here. You just sound stupid because they're video games. And so you are trying to like bring in all this like stupid bullshit to talk forever, and it all sums up to being meaningless. That's why every single time it was my turn to talk, I said more than you have this entire 2 hours. I've brought more to the table than you have, besides walking and backpacking simulates where it's original. That's what you said for the past 2 hours, Kirby. And the only thing you had the boat.
I wouldn't necessarily say you talking more has made your arguments better.
They've brought way more to the table. They brought more discussion. They opened up the oyster to keep going. Kirby could not keep this thing going, and if he did, it would end on bad information.
Let's go. Let's keep going. I'm here.
But you don't know what I'm talking about. That's why I'm saying we can't. Like there is no winning because you're in a different plane. It doesn't compute with you.
I'm right here with you. I'm trying to communicate.
You're calling me stubborn, but you can't even understand.
Audience who was going to decide at the end.
No, I was just coming here knowing that this is bullshit. I wasn't convincing anybody. At some point y'all got to sit here and just be like, think about it for 2 seconds and be like, oh yeah. Well, I'm like, I'll even put in like later tonight. I'll put in a little thing of all the games, just gameplay clips together of old games following up, leading to Death Stranding. If you want me to do that, I'll put that one on there for you too. Because it's such a stupid conversation. Is Death Stranding original? Because it's sure the setting, the story, and all that maybe, but
we can't actually blah 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 blah.
Again, there's nothing. There's a fart of a statement. Another, like you've said that like 100 times this whole thing.
I'll ask you this question, Kirby. Do not talk, or I'm going to mute you. If you could, Matt, you could think about anything original that comes from Death Stranding, could you think of at least one?
The story probably, but it's like the story's original and in like its complexities, to where like the basis of it, the main theme's not original, but to like how Metal Gear Solid does in like Final Fantasy, to where it gets so overly complicated, or like pretty much any Japanese anime, like the complexity of it all. But yeah, like stuff like that. I would say like Kingdom Hearts. I would say the story's very original there. It's kind of like original in that sense. But everything else, I wouldn't say Walking Simulator is original. That was a joke that Kirby took too seriously. That was a meme that for Death Stranding. That was a joke that people did. That was a joke people did that Kirby thought was law or something. I don't know.
Memes. Answer the question.
From bad things that were funny.
Okay.
What makes
a meme? Say the question out loud.
Why does Mac think that became a meme? Do you think it was just because the game was so bad? No, it's because it was originally bad.
No, because it was Hideo's fumble. It was Hideo Kojima falling for the first time. It was like, they were like, oh my god.
But then why
he made a Strand type game? Oh my god!
Why did they call it?
It was a sucking his dick meme. It'd be like, all the lovers, like you sucking his dick right now.
Call it Walking Simulator, man.
But Kirby, you don't understand that the meme is about you. That's what it's not.
Because in a unique way,
oh my god, he doesn't get it, Cope. The Strand type game meme came from people that played the game that loved it so much and said, no, it's a new game. It's a Strand type game. That's where the meme came from. Idiots like you. And then everyone was like, oh, it's a Strand type game. Oh, because they're bumbling idiots that are like, this is so original. This is Hideo Kojima's.
Because they're idiots. That's not an argument, though.
That is an argument because your point is dumb.
Mac, not really. You can't just say like, "Oh, you're an idiot." So
yes, I can, because he's not talking about what I'm talking about. So he's an uneducated. And it's an idiot. It's an idiotic statement to make. Because you're talking about stuff you don't know about. How would you not come across as an idiot?
Oh,
but pretending like you know everything.
You're like
pretending like fumbling over and over again.
You're like, there's something in the box, guys. Trust me. But
what if I said that was wrong?
It's a bluff.
Okay, cool. What Kirby? State back to me what I just said and say what was wrong about it, and say what was a bluff in any way, shape, or form.
Enough video games, so there's no way I could ever know. But the thing is, Mac, just saying.
Is that not factual?
No, Mac, let him finish.
But you have to actually draw out what is this insight that you've drawn from all these video games. It sounds to me like you just have a bunch of fucking examples of similarities, but my argument this whole time has been that you can't reduce originality to similarity.
But similarity and originality, what's the differentiator there?
That's what is arguing about. I'm saying
Okay, well, to me, they're the same thing.
Because he modeled it on backpacking in a hyper-realistic, very faithful and specific way. You are saying because it's similar, nothing is original. It's not original. But that's like very vague. Like, do you see how mine is very clear cut? There's actual stakes, and then yours, there's like no way I can disprove it because yes, everything is fucking similar.
Yes,
with everything
okay,
else.
but look, let's take it's like Astroworld. It's like saying Astroworld is not original, even though it comes from the same instruments and it comes from the same things like that. It's like Astroworld is original, even though it derives from the same beat patterns and stuff from other songs and has samples and whatnot. It is original because it sounds and the way they do them is completely different. Death Stranding is not that way. Death Stranding is a joke mechanic, but it's just done on a AAA guy with $300 million that can hire Norman Reedus and have monster placement.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna mute you, Kirby. Mac, I think you need to restate the Astroworld like argument because you kind of just went nowhere with that because even at the end of that I didn't.
So look.
Restate that. Just restate for
it. So Astro as an album comes from different instruments and it has samples and it comes from similar to other things, but from those other things it creates a new thing. Death Stranding, in my opinion, did not create a new thing, and that's why that's like the whole thing is that even though it's derived from, still too similar to those things to call it original. It's still too close to that to be like they made it its own thing. Yeah, he made it super detailed and like made the L2 R2 buttons to walk and like carry stuff from other games and whatnot and made them more advanced and put a backpack on it with item like stuff that comes straight from Resident Evil where you just manage your item inventory. It's all like to make everything fit, it's just all that stuff that's just from other games, but they're too similar to those other games and it didn't do anything new besides the setting and just walking. But that even just that type of game exists. Even that type of it's just not original in a lot of senses.
I'm gonna mute you real quick and then I'm gonna let Kirby respond. Okay. All right, Kirby, you're unmuted.
So I don't know about you, Kobe. Can I just talk to you from like? Did you hear him make an actual defense for Astroworld being original? Because I just heard him say detail and like new way and all this shit.
I kind of it's just
Kobe. What was his argument for Astroworld being original?
It would if I would recall, he's saying that like just because it had like instruments that have been used in the past, but doesn't make that unoriginal is the fact that all these instruments that did come together made a new type of sound or a new type of like flow.
But how? Like you see how I actually have to argue the how, and he just gets to appeal to it's original. Well, like I've given very specific reasons why.
Then Steelman his argument right there, like.
What do you mean? There is no argument. The whole point is he hasn't made an argument. He's saying, okay, there's all these similarities. It's using the same instruments, the same elements from the past, but it's original. What was the argument? I must have missed it. Where is the original?
I'm going to mute you real quick. Hold on. Okay, Mac, I hope you remember what I said about your argument. I'm about to unmute you. Did what I say was like remotely correct to what you were repeating?
Yes, but Kirby immediately, like you repeated what I said, then Kirby immediately like defected you too because he still didn't understand. I'm glad you understood it, but Kirby just can't. He can't compute still. I'm glad they you even restated what I said, and Kirby tried to argue with you. It's just he's just trying to nitpick. No, look. This is what he's doing, Kobe. He's letting me talk for a while until I say something he has an edge. He just tries to SpongeBob meme it out and then be like, "Oh, you're so stupid." He has no defense. He didn't even listen to the whole thing I said because the Astroworld thing. He's like, "Did he defend Astroworld?" Yes, I said they used the same sounds but turned it into a new thing. That is what makes Astroworld original. Death Stranding is not a new thing. It is besides the setting, which does not matter in this gameplay that we're talking about. So Kirby, if you would listen for 2 seconds with like a brain and not just trying to find things to flaw me on for like. Just for 3 seconds, then you could have an actual conversation. Because all Kirby is doing is going back and forth with stuff to say, but he has nothing else to say anymore. He is out of things to say. I can keep going, and that is where this argument ends because Kirby cannot say anything besides SpongeBob references, memes, and just going and being like, "Oh, it doesn't matter." Can you tell me what Mac did or anything? Because I did, but just Kirby, it just doesn't make sense to Kirby somehow. So this whole argument is just a nothing burger because Kirby is playing the nonsensical toddler child that is just here to just cause problems because he does not want to concede defeat. and that's it. And I've already said, again, it's been going on 2 hours now. Half an hour ago, I agree with Kirby. I can see what he's saying. I see how it could be original in that aspect, but to me, it's not original. You cannot convince me that it's going to be original based off of walking mechanics that are present in other games. That's not what basis of originality means to me. It could mean that to you, and everything's original. And you just all that you could just give credit to everything.
Let me see if I can say your argument another way to see if I can understand again.
My argument is that Kirby doesn't have an argument, but he's using baby knowledge to make an argument. That's my argument.
If I were to say that what's the game Shadow of Colossus was an original game, I would say that because it's not really an open world, it's an open field type game. That because wouldn't Shadow of Colossus be the first type of open field game?
Well, it was open world. There was no loading screens between each area. It's a pretty big map. It's like the size of Dark Souls 1. It's just void of anything. There's no animals. I mean, there's those little salamanders. There's salamanders, but then that's about it. But it's an open world. It's a huge map that has different biomes. There's a sand desert. There's a jungle. There's an ice plate. There's a whole. But there's no load. What makes it open world and not open level is that there's no loading screens. Okay, that's what when a game has to load to an area.
Okay, Kirby, I'm gonna unmute you now. Okay, you're unmuted.
Once again, Mac was asked, what makes Astroworld original? He said, it's a new thing. That's all he said.
No.
Kirby's dumb. He's dumb, Kobe.
Then explain it to me right now. Explain it to me right now. How is it a new thing?
I'll just mute Kirby. Mute Mac for a second. Kirby. What he's saying, what he said in the original thing is even though all the instruments and all all the music production stuff that was used on the song, that may have been unoriginal. It may have been used in other songs, but the way it was put in together, the way it flowed, made it original. I think that's what.
But could I not just say the same thing about Death Stranding? That it's the way it all came together that's original. Could I not just say that? But the thing is, that would be really vague, and you couldn't actually make a counter argument to that.
I see where you're going, but I think you could do that if you.
It's a new thing. What?
I think you could make the same argument for.
It's a claim. It's not a statement. It's not an argument.
If you were, see, the thing is, I don't know anything about Death.
I don't argue like that because I'm not a sophist.
I couldn't really make that argument, but if you had the knowledge that I'm pretending to have, then I think you could make that argument. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mac, explain it again.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you, Mac. Hold on. Okay, you're unmuted.
As I was saying, when I said that statement, and I immediately referenced into Death Stranding that you must have missed, I guess. I don't know how. But Death Stranding, it's a whole new thing. I mean, Astroworld's a whole new thing. Death Stranding, it is the same concepts directly, it's just the same things, but all of them are there. It does not make it a new thing. They did not make it an original concept.
But you're relying on the fact that music doesn't have concepts.
What do you think a concept album is? The title of concept albums not a compute to you?
Wait. You think there's no concepts that are brought up in Astroworld that aren't brought up in previous albums?
Yes, but the Astroworld is new. It used
it and
morphed
it
into a new
argument.
thing. Death Stranding did not morph it into something new.
Okay. For
the morphing is doing a lot of lifting here.
Describe again why it's new. Just make a new argument or something like.
You can't.
He can't, Kobe, because he only has one argument and he's lost it. He's used it 30 times by now.
We're asking you to explain.
Oh, how Death Stranding.
No.
No, how Astroworld is new. Just tell us how it morphs.
Just simply the sound landscape, the sounds
simply
used.
The sound landscape.
I mean, we're talking about music versus video. I mean, if we're gonna, I only brought that up as an analogy, but I mean, if you want to get critical, we can't really.
Comparison, not like 1-to-1, really.
Okay, well, comparison you can't. I use it as an analogy. It's music. It's completely different from video games. You can't really. I just use it as an analogy.
Pivot away. Kobe, can you?
I mean, we want to do we have to talk about the soundtrack to Death Stranding.
Because I'm.
But it's not worth that. I mean, we can flip it. I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean,
Kobe, I've been talking to you this entire time. I hope you know that.
Again, desperation. That's crazy. Trying to get the guy on your side.
I want a point.
Trying to get still holding the point that doesn't matter. You're so desperate. Why are you so desperate to win something? Even if the coin flips and it's me.
That's what an argument is.
But no, an argument is when you come together. I understand your point of view. You don't get mine. You're still arguing mine. I agree with you. Then what the fuck are you talking about? If you understand my point of view, what the hell are you talking about? Okay, then explain my point of view one more time.
Your limited point. Okay, your point of view.
Your point of view is limited on marketing.
Your point of view is that because there are gameplay elements, concepts, aesthetics in Death Stranding that have appeared already in other games, that Death Stranding is not original.
And your point of view is that since you haven't experienced them, they don't matter.
That's
which is uneducated and wrong. It is true. It is true. You don't even know how these games play. Kirby, if you held the controller, no. If you held the controller,
very specific argument,
almost exactly like Death Stranding.
Specific argument. You see how I'm able to explain his argument, and then when I ask him to explain mine, he says, "Oh, your argument is that you don't know." But that's not an argument. That's you're insulting me. You're claiming something about me. That's not an argument. I explain the way that you are arguing. You just insulted me.
I'm sorry. I'm about to mute both of you. Okay. I just mute both of you. Kirby, when I unmute you, I want you to explain why that's why you do know. Like just like do like a definition or like just explain why you do know. So that you can just like start like a new conversation. All right. You're unmuted.
Why I do know what?
Fuck. Kirby. I mean not Kirby. Mac. What was your What did you say? Like that he doesn't know. What did you say, Mac? You're unmuted right now.
What is the question?
Mac is claiming that I can't even speak because I haven't played enough video games. That's actually his argument.
But it's the same concept. That's not my argument. I was just thought about it because like Metal Gear Solid 1, if you're talking about like difficulty control walking, then that was your Death Stranding. Because if it was that complicated for you, yes. If you want to talk about it like that, then yes.
It's not realistic. Remember, we went down this road before, Mac. You played it with the
Kirby. Then Kirby's saying that my argument is calling him stupid, and that's my argument is because
Mac is lost in
two different spectrums. Because you cannot compute my argument, and you're still trying. You're on the give this guy too much credit spectrum, and you don't know how games work. Like you don't even know.
What the game is. Remember, it's down topic. We're talking about
that is on topic. It's not, but to you it is. You're giving him too much credit. It's not an original game. You're giving him too much credit. It's not an original game.
Okay, argument. Because I explained your argument, and then when you tried to explain my argument,
explain your argument. Because how many times do we have to explain your side of the argument? Because your argument doesn't matter. Because it's not what I'm talking about. I don't care about how detailed and realistic. There's not another realistic backpacking experience. That's not what I'm talking about. But to you, and I get that. I get what you're saying, and you're right in your mind. To that point of thinking, yes, Death Stranding is whatever the fuck you want it to be in that way of point of view. But in my point of view, it's not. And you cannot convince me that it is. Death Stranding is not an original game. To you, it can be because you're having fun with it and you like it a lot, and it's Boy Scout vibes. And you just like your inner child speaking. Cool. That's all relevant to the argument. I don't care how cool it is and how much you like backpacking. The traversing hard is
not making an argument.
Game. It is a genre of games.
You're not making an argument. You're just claiming
things. It's a genre of game. It isn't a genre. That is the argument of how unoriginal. But you cannot see that because you're like, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's labeled this, and he even called it one of these type of games because it's so original. When the creator himself didn't say anything like that. But you're going to sit here and say, oh my God, it's just the most original thing.
I don't base my opinions, Mac, on the opinions of other men. I arrive at them myself.
Then that's why you're wrong. And I'm sorry, but without any help here, you're just wrong. And being as stubborn as you are, you're just wrong.
You're just wrong.
In my point of view,
you're just wrong.
Kirby, in your point of view, you're right. In your point of view, you're right. Kirby, in your point of view, you're right. In mine,
nothing matters.
Simply cannot understand it. And that's it. Because you don't get it. And again, I'm sorry, but talking about a video game and its originality, bringing up the history of a game is an essential piece, but since it doesn't consider you and you have no knowledge, burst it. Sorry, that's not how this fucking works. If you're uneducated walking in, you're just gonna get bulldozed. That's just how it works, is you don't know what you're talking about. You cannot just deflect everything. No, and then the internet's opinion also does matter. Other people's opinion, the masses matter. But to you, it doesn't because it aids your argument. And again, he doesn't care because he's stubborn and he doesn't know what he's talking about. I get what he's saying, but his inability to compute to my argument and understand anything of what I'm saying is a testament to your lack of knowledge on the situation and the argument. Go play. You can play your silly little walking game. It's the best thing ever, and it's original. And I hope you have a blessed time with it, Kirby. But you cannot sit here and tell me that it's original. In my point of view, your argument, Kirby. Your argument, Kirby, is not. You have nothing besides that it is detailed, and that there's another game that includes backpacking and walking. That is your entire argument, and that is how it's original. And how the setting beside it is also original when it's also not. How the stories are, everything about it, every aspect, but you don't get that, and you can't understand that. And that is the only 2 hours that I've wasted talking about this that I've gotten from this conversation, is that it is a useless nothing burger. Because nothing computes, and you still just want to win so bad, and that is all that you care about. To where you can say I conceded. You win, Kirby. You have it. You won the boat analogy that I brought up that you wanted to harp on so long because it's the only thing you had, and it's the only thing you have now. But you cannot convince that. Yes, everything I've just said.
But you don't have me conceding anything.
Because you won't. Okay, then you can live in delusion that you won this thing that you're specifically about. But you want to talk about objectively. But because you love being the underdog, because you love loving things that are shitty, you have to win this.
Mac, repeat like the last 30 seconds. You kind of.
Objectively, if we're going to go objectively about this matter, the internet, you lost, Kirby, by a landslide. Objectively, everything that you're saying, if you're going to bring up objectiveness, everything you've said is irrelevant and you lost, and it's your personal opinion that apparently does not matter.
Mac means what the most people on the internet think. What a smart guy.
Objectively, it's a 90 to 1. It's a 90 to 10%. There's a small group of people like you that like this game, but even gaming developers won't. They were scared of working with him again. It is not something you can say as originality, not part of that situation. But at the same time, that's what caused it to be unoriginal.
What does objective mean to you?
Like objectively, if we're like objectively to do this, objectively in hypothetical, like in a hypothetical sense, objectively
means hypothetical.
Well, like in a hypothetical sense, if we're going to objectify this thing, then what, it's a hypothetical in nature.
Do you agree with that, Kirby?
Yes. No.
Wait, what? You mean it's a thing in nature?
No, it's a hypothetical in nature. It's a hypothetical, and I don't know if I cut out. It's a hypothetical in nature.
When he says nature,
like objectively,
like outside nature. That's not what he means. Like
do this objectively in a retrospective sense. Not like. I don't know how you view it, but that's how I view it. It's a hypothetical.
I mean, it is a complicated question, but I do think I think objective is like what is not malleable just based on our subjective opinions of it. It's like what.
Okay, again, all right. Instead of sitting here and like doing about what I said on stuff that doesn't matter and all that stuff, what do you have to say to that? Besides like nitpicking on the objective mark and saving time. What the past 3 minutes I just spoke. But did you not listen? Because again, that was pretty much all new stuff again. Like I brought new stuff to the table in that argument as well. So like, do you have anything else that you can say besides what you're going to say already? If not, you lost.
What you said is basically.
I'm not going to repeat it.
I haven't played enough video games.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. Like again, like Kirby, like do you see what I'm saying, Kobe? Immediately, he just like just discredits everything I just said, and then is going to go on a new thing. At this point. No, you're not listening to me. You're just spewing bullshit out of your mouth to like seem like you're a cocky winner when you're just losing. But that's all you have. All you have is this angle, and you're desperately clinging on to it like a toddler. And it is so weird. I don't understand because I don't understand how I can. I'm not going to concede to it because we're on two different spectrums. I'm not conceding that I lost this because we're not talking about the same thing. But I can respect your opinion and I can respect how you see that. But you cannot respect mine. Mine is wrong. But you're gonna keep trying to target mine so you can win this argument that's already been decided. But we're gonna keep going on this for hours until Kirby gets a decisive dub on something. And even when this ends, he's gonna bring up the boat again and say that he won the argument and that there's no point against me. When it simply does not matter. But Kirby's gotta win. Kirby's gotta roll the dice and keep going somehow so he can feel smart again. Not in this case, Kirby. Not in this case. That is not, like, I already conceded, but now you're just pissing me off because I've been trying to get this over with, but you just keep going and you keep saying it's not even you don't even bring anything new. You just regurgitate the same information over and over again. I've brought up everything, but all the rebuttal to it is that it doesn't matter. Look at the mechanics. He's nihilistic. I don't know. I haven't done any of that because I'm at least arguing properly. You're just fucking being a child. And you can't win that way. And if you think you can win that way, I'm sorry, but it's not going to work because I have at least brought up facts and it's something. You've brought up personal opinion. That's not cool in an argument based on is the game original or not, because it's not. In my sense, I can see how it's original to you, and I respect that. But in my sense, not one single part of it can be original besides the setting, besides like how the land looks, and besides some of the story beats that intertwine within the story. But gameplay mechanic wise, to me, no. And that is a good argument. Your argument has been backtracked on 3 times, and you're going to sit here and try to say that you're winning, and it doesn't make sense to me. You have brought up nothing besides, but the same bullshit. So like, you can respond however you want, but I already know how it's going to go, and it's just like, just tired because it's again Kirby, utterly useless.
Real quick before I say something. Respond real quick if you have anything to respond to. Okay. So
there's
Kirby not.
Yeah.
There's nothing. So as I'm looking, it's 2 hours 33 minutes. Right now. This is. Are we good, guys? Are we done?
So are we just gonna agree to disagree?
I think that's what I said 30 minutes ago. I think that's like I don't know why we had to keep this going. I tried to stop it multiple times, but then again, it just turned into make fun of Mac's argument when it was the only sensible argument, and it's not how you do arguments and debates at all.
It's not only the only sensible argument. Mine was also sensible.
You didn't bring up anything. You brought up your personal opinion, your view on the game, and your personal history of. What did you bring up, Kirby? Besides how you feel about the game. You think the game is good and that it's original because you walk with a backpack.
I've specifically said many times that the game being good has nothing to do with it.
Okay, you think the game's original because you walk with a backpack and you have to balance and walk up terrain.
Because that's the entirety of the game and it's faithful to the actual experience, as I've said many times.
Again, that doesn't make it an original game.
Okay.
Like, I'm sorry. You can think that and you can have fun with it. No,
I understand.
But you can't defumble my argument as if it doesn't make sense because it makes more sense because it's not heart-filled.
So Kirby said that because it makes the realistic action of like carrying a backpack and moving over terrain. That makes it original.
And that's where we started with 2.5 hours ago.
Kirby, So and Mac, what do you think makes something original? I guess since you don't think Death Stranding is original. Well, actually,
it remakes it.
Actually,
it reinstates it. It reuses it to a new thing. Death Stranding did not reuse those concepts to a new level. They just put them all together.
Okay, what's something that you think that would make Death Stranding original?
Like, I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. There's not much you can make original there. He just made a difficult walking game. Like, originality, I have to go base up, just like story beats and just gameplay controls center-wise. But, like, Metal Gear Solid 1 was popular, and it was a big moment because it changed game rules. Hideo Kojima in this game just follows the game rules that we all have today, like COD. It's the same gameplay, that's the same controller mapping, and that's why Kirby doesn't like Metal Gear Solid 1, because the controls are wonky and weird, because there was no rules back then. It was a Wild West. And Hideo Kojima is known for breaking those boundaries, but I don't think Death Stranding did that. I think it was probably it was weirdly his safest game, but then at the same time his most obtuse game. But they both weren't like I don't think Death Stranding was original. It was just a Hideo Kojima game that wasn't up to his standard, because he usually just makes original content that you can't find anywhere else. But Death Stranding, you can find that gameplay somewhere else. You can find that vibe somewhere else. You can find a lot of things from it somewhere else. But that's what
brought up.
Wait, what did you just say, Kirby?
What?
You've continuously brought up examples of where you can find a game just like Death Stranding. And I've continually argued in a very simple way that I don't think any of those games apply. Because they don't.
And that's your opinion, and that doesn't matter to me because that's your point of view of what original means. And like, do you not understand that?
Just gonna dismiss
that's what I'm saying, and you dismiss everything I say, Kirby.
That's not true. So, I understand what you're saying.
I know you don't. I understand what you're saying, but to you can't conceptually understand how that makes it unoriginal.
You're saying that these concepts have been found in other games, but I'm saying there's something about the fact that it has made this the entire game. But
still, yes, other games have it though, as a small part.
Yeah, but
so does that mean it's revolutionary or lazy?
There are other stealth games, there are other shooting games, there are other things with all sorts of things.
Not like Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 are they're in their own lane. No, they're not, because look, the Kirby, you don't understand like the magnitude of Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. There was no other game like them on the market, and that's a fact.
It's difficult to argue that something's original.
I don't think it is. Like Astroworld's original. I could say a lot of things are original.
You just appealed to the sound landscape, so let's not go back.
Okay, then Shadow of the Colossus. Again, Metal Gear Solid. Again, even fuck it, Ratchet and Clank. So many things are original, and they still come out today. Risk of Rain 2 was original in the fact that it was like not a 2D.
Yeah, it wasn't 2D.
Yeah,
3D.
and they made it its own thing. You know, like originality exists. Dead, like you think I'm saying. It's just you really do believe that Death Stranding is original, and that's where the argument ends because you will die on that hill. When to me, arguably and conceptually, it's not.
If I pressed you on any of those examples, you would fall back on the "I think it's original."
But I don't think they're original. They're historical landmarks. Like read about them. Read about the video game history and what started shit and what snowballed into things.
They're original.
Again, like, what are you trying to like save yourself again? It matters what the fact of the game is, and what it did to people, and that Death Stranding, it did not do that to people, and it.
Death Stranding, yeah.
Like I don't like your. This is desperation again, trying to make it just to it's just your opinion that matters, and Kirby, that's it, and Kirby's experience with the game is the only thing that matters, and that's it's a good game. Like I think what's that terrible? There's one game I still play. Let me see if I can find it. But it's terrible. People hate it. I think it's good, and I understand that. And I understand that vibe. I'm not saying that because it's a lot of people hate it means it's bad. I'm just saying it's like to your argument. It's unoriginal, and that's that.
That's that.
That's that. I don't think it's original, and you know why. And I know why you think it's original. But in my mind, with all the stuff I can see and I can feel about old stuff. Because he made everything about walking, and walking's the main mechanic, and it's all about walking, and it stripped everything else away. Oh my god, he's lazy. He made a walking game that's actually less intuitive than some of the ones on Miniclip. Actually, some of the ones on Miniclip are actually less janky.
That's has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It's the same gameplay mechanic. It's the same thing.
But it's not
like if it was original, he would have done it differently, or he would have done it in a different way. Nothing that was not present in that game. There was no truly groundbreaking mechanic done. There was no true storytelling beat done differently. There was nothing so original that you think that's so original about it done to that game.
I think that making realistic walking, the central gameplay mechanic is original.
There's games like that though. Like I brought them up earlier on. We can go back to the list on the internet. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
Realistic games. That was my response to that earlier.
Okay, but just because it's naturally realistic doesn't make it's a whole different thing. Is what I'm saying. It doesn't evolve it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that there's not another game that bases itself on like this naturalistic, realistic depiction of actual backpacking. You know.
Okay, so the story is original. That is the story, because again, you don't understand, Kirby. That's what I'm saying. In gameplay development, the stuff that is used in that game,
it reflects backpacking in the gameplay as well.
Yes, but you could have that effect, but you just wouldn't know it's that same effect in other games because there's not a backpack on. And you know what I'm saying? No, it's the same movement. It's the same buttons you're pressing. Same thing.
It's all about the visual of the backpack, right?
Yes and no, because I don't know if you're stuck on the visual of the backpack, but the backpack wasn't there, and you were still wobbling, and you had like stuff to carry, but there was nothing. You're not carrying anything. It was that same wonky movement, but without all that stuff, all that cake layered onto it. It would be similar and almost the same. It's
about reflecting reality.
It's the story, Kirby. That's not the gameplay.
No, it is in the gameplay. It's part of the gameplay. Like for instance, how you have to arrange the gear within your.
So the story adds to the gameplay.
That's not story. That's gameplay.
That is strip the story away. What is it?
It's
strip the story and strip the story in the backpack. And what is the gameplay similar to?
Gameplay.
What is similar to what and derives from what games? You should know. I've listed them off. And I just won the argument because you're stuck on like the visual and the cinematic version of what it stands for.
I can't really end this. You guys are the ones still going. Like.
But you're the mediator, so you're supposed to pick one of us who wins. That's why we've been both arguing. I mean, obviously, we're not going to convince each other. The point is that we're trying to convince you. That's why you're here.
Okay, give me a moment. Let me think.
Ugh.
mean, it's so hard because like
I'm not trying to like ruin the game for Kirby or anything. I'm not trying to like say it's bad because I understand that the vibe of a game that you really like and other people's opinions shouldn't matter because you like it, and I get that. And there's a lot of games I've had that experience with.
So like so if I had to choose someone to win, the easiest choice would actually be Kirby, because all Kirby is truly trying to say is just like, okay, Death Stranding has like set a new like benchmark. It's a new genre. Yep. Like, right?
And it exists in a genre. Okay.
Like that would be like if I were like just like easily pick, it would go to Kirby. But the thing is with Mac, is that he's actually like systematically like looking at the game and then breaking it down and trying to like find like he's looking at all the cracks and corners and like trying to like fully realize if this game is actually as good as like people would think it would be, or think it's like Kojima would want it.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, the act of walking and it's difficult to get up a hill is not new. That's pretty much my whole thing summed up. Well, that being the gameplay loop and the only gameplay. No matter how it makes you feel and what it means for like humanity in the future and whatnot, and how it reflects life and whatnot, the gameplay, how you play the game, You brought that in like literally 2 minutes ago. You just brought that in. That was one of the last things you said was how the gameplay is the story, which means you're focusing on the story.
No, you said that, and I said no.
That's what? That's not what you said. You said that the gameplay is the story. Kirby, a quote from you is that the gameplay is the story. That is what you said.
I said that what
Kobe, roll it back. Kobe, roll it back. I'm not talking anymore.
Story was gameplay. I said that
you just fumbled so hard because you literally said that. I know 100% you said that.
No.
I know, Kirby. I already know. I know.
You said that the backpack was part of the story and inventory management was part of the story. I said that it was part of the gameplay. That's what happened.
That's not what you said. The quote is that the gameplay is part of the story. That's what you said while I was watching. I literally remember.
I'll cash up you $100 if I said that.
Kobe, roll it back. Kobe, roll. Yeah, I want to bet. Kobe, roll it back.
That I said the gameplay is part of the story.
If I roll it back, I have to stop the recording right here. Like
that's fine.
All right, I'm stopping the recording. Hold on, give me a second.
Damn,
I said the gameplay is